Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time here, don't worry. I only got one rule on this channel. It's basically don't click nothing, don't smash nothing, don't buy nothing. Just listen. So I used to be a financial analyst. So I used to be around people who think they're all that, but really they're not. And this article from Goldman Sachs proves this. So Goldman Sachs came out with an article talking about the concentration in the S&P 500. Basically how the biggest stocks in the index are carrying most of the weight. In fact, right now we have the most concentrated S&P 500 since 1980, the last year where Eddie Murphy was funny. Can't believe I recycled that joke. I'm just kidding, Eddie. Love you. This morning, Goldman Sachs come out with an article basically pointing out to the fact that the top 5 companies in the index are responsible for 51% of the returns since April this year. Insane. Now, those companies, of course, you can guess: Microsoft, Apple, Google, Tesla, Nvidia, all the usual culprits. Now, check this out. The problem isn't this observation, which is 100% correct. The problem is their interpretation, because it is literally basically idiocracy at this point. I've never seen anything this bad, even when I worked on Wall Street. So check this out. So they coming out and saying, well, guys, there's nothing to worry about. Everything is great. Just keep buying growth stocks. And their explanation why you should be keeping buying growth stocks right now, despite this insane concentration, because, concentration isn't a bad thing, is because, get this, I'm literally quoting it, because there's a lot of unknowns that are causing this. I swear to God, I kid you not, this is literally what it says. Unknown unknowns. They literally let an intern write this shit and he forgot to replace the placeholders with actual bullshit explanations. And now this is what we got on mainstream media. Unknown unknowns are causing the market to do this. And somehow, for the love of God, I don't know how, this is not even the worst part of their article. They're basically saying that market concentration is an incentive for you to buy growth stocks. So check this out. It's not like we have a 7% inflation, right? It's not like we have a chip shortage. It's not like China is trying to start a war. Russia is trying to start a war. It's not like the Fed is about to taper and raise interest rates. None of this is about to happen, right? It's not like the market is about to basically go into kaboom mode. Yeah, don't see any problem here with growth stocks at all. I mean, basically, this is what I think actually happened. So this would be the scenario that I play out in my head. Basically, Goldman Sachs is coming to a room full of retail investors that have no clue, basically saying, buy growth stocks. There's nothing to worry about. Don't worry. Are they gone? Good. Sell every single stock we just talked about, motherfucker. Let's get out of this crazy market. Oh my God, I hope they bought it. Now, I'm just kidding, of course. I'm not blaming Goldman Sachs in actually doing that. I know Goldman Sachs is a respectable institution. I'm just saying, I think their thesis is really feces. And by the way, I just want to clarify, this was all a joke. I don't really think they're doing anything like that. It's a guy on the internet doing a satirical show. So chill. Don't sue me, bro. Now check it out. Since we already took a few shots at Goldman Sachs, I think it's only right we do it for Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley came out with a paper analyzing the price target for Palantir. And get this, they set their price target between $11 and $50. Yes, it's basically like the weatherman coming up and saying, well, tomorrow it might rain, snow, hail, be sunny, or everything of the above. I have no fucking idea what's going to happen. It's pretty much what they're doing. Now, check this out. Basically, what I think is going on here, reading the research paper, is Morgan Stanley is getting caught up in this false narrative like everybody else. Basically, well, they just beat expectations. They're growing nicely. Their margins are great. Everything is great. But you know what? There's a lot of income coming in from the companies they invested in. So we don't like that. So that's why we're going to downgrade this company. Never mind the fact that Q3 clients from commercial grew by 46%. Never mind that basically now they have over 200 clients just in commercial business. Never mind the $1.4 billion trailing 12 months revenue they made. Never mind the $120 billion of total addressable market in which they have no competitors in. Never mind the fact that they have 77% gross margin. Never mind the fact that they have $200 billion of free cash flow in Q3. Never mind that the only reason companies aren't really adopting it right now is because people are afraid of losing their jobs, literally. I mean, people in IT don't want to lose their jobs. If Palantir comes in, half of them go home. Half, Eddie, I want home. So this research paper is basically another sign for me. When I see this, I know exactly what's going on. Institutionals are loading up while retailers are setting the fear, and then once everybody's done buying up, loading up the boat, it's going to go back up. It's just kind of clear to me. But again, it's just a joke. It's just my opinion. Might be inaccurate, might be completely the ramblings of a madman, might be completely false. Don't take my word for it, just my crazy theory. And let's talk a little bit about Apple. I don't want to throw any shade on Apple. In fact, I want to congratulate them. They almost hit $3 trillion yesterday. That's insane. Woo! And nobody knew. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold on. On January, we posted on our Patreon that Apple at $132 is an undervalued company. And now we're about at 175. Yesterday, we actually hit 182. We did a nice like 35, 36% on Apple, like a giga blue chip stock. I mean, I'm just saying, our Patreon community is actually pretty cool. If you want to join, the link is below. It's $5 per month. I'm just saying, some of these Zoom calls we have on our Patreon community are pretty wild and insane. You might want to check out just that alone. Let's talk about what happens when Elon comes out with a really cool initiative, but just because it's Elon, the regular Tesla Q crowd just finds reasons to hate on the guy. I've never seen anything like that. So what happened is yesterday, Elon tweets, hey, we're working on this exciting project. We're going to turn CO2 to actual rocket fuel by taking it from the atmosphere. Insane stuff, like science fiction nonsense. Now, of course, there's a clown already commenting, hey, you're going to turn CO2 to rocket fuel? What's going to happen to the trees? They need it. Mother lover, you don't think the trees have enough? You worried about the trees? You don't think there's enough CO2 in the air for the trees? You know how much CO2 we got, mother lover? You must be crazy. Now, talking about Elon, the dude just came out with an insane proposal. They're going to come out with a merch line featuring Doge, which you can only buy with Doge, which I think is pretty insane. That thing just turned me from a fan to a full-blown air conditioner. I love that shit. And I also think it's going to sell out in like 30 seconds. In fact, I'm putting my reputation, professional Adidas reputation on the line. Just kidding, Adidas, don't sue me. If that mother lover don't sell out in 30 seconds, I'm going to do a live half-naked belly dance on my channel just for you guys. So you better pray that it actually sells out. And what's going on with Bitcoin? Just a month ago, we were at $69,000. By the way, 69, get it? $69,000 just a month ago. Currently at 47. So Bitcoin is going crazy. But let me tell you something. When you invest in Bitcoin, you got to be ready for a rough ride. Imagine this as an analogy for how investing in Bitcoin looked like from 2016 to 2019. Check it out. In just 3 years, it was pretty much like smuggling drugs into Cuba, getting arrested, going to prison, breaking out of prison, swimming to shore, getting eaten by a shark, fighting from the inside of the shark, getting out, getting captured, sold as a male escort in a third world country, winning the lottery, coming back home as a millionaire. If you don't have the cojones for something like that, stay away. But if you're ready for a crazy ride, well, giddy up, mother lover. And now let me explain what's going on right now with our government. Literally yesterday, Janet Yellen calls Chuck Schumer and says, hey, Chuck, we're about to go broke tomorrow. Chuck says, bet, no problem. We're going to solve this today. Today, they're going to pass the legislation that basically lifts the debt ceiling so we don't have to go broke. One less thing to worry about. And by the way, now they can focus on the transitory inflation. By the way, a moment of silence for the word transitory. I think that's enough. Speaking of the word transitory, I mean, we just retired it, but the problem remains. Right now, based on the schedule the Fed is outlining, we're supposed to be tapering all the way until March. Then at March, we halt, and by June, we're going to see the first interest rate hikes. The problem is, that's way too slow. If you think about it, right now, we're in a really horrible situation. We had a cavity, could have gone to the dentist and took care of it. We waited, we did diddly squat, now it's turned to a whole freaking root canal. If we don't do it right now, the root canal, we're going to have to freaking lose the tooth and have an implant. That's pretty much what we're looking at. So I'd rather have a root canal today than an implant in a few months. How about you? Well, Jerome Powell doesn't really give a shit, it seems. At this point, he's basically kicking the can down the road, hoping for some miracle. But I don't believe in miracles. So in my opinion, we're all screwed unless he wakes up and does something really faster. And a huge shout out to Adam Jonas, unrelated to the Jonas brothers, the Morgan Stanley analyst and a friend of the channel, huge Tesla bull, comes out with his top 3 EV picks for 2022 and names Tesla, of course, for the software, engineering, the batteries, the infrastructure, chooses Rivian because of their unique market segment and the Amazon support, and somehow we got GM in this list. Yes, General Motors, the company that came out with the Chevy Bolt, the hottest car in the market. It's literally on fire. The car that got recalled, 100% of it got recalled. They literally had parking lots banning the Chevy Bolt, that company, the company that led the EV industry according to Biden. And his rationale names nothing that has to do anything with EVs. Check it out. Strong cash flow, diversified portfolio, whatever the hell that means, great margins, and get this, good balance sheet. You know what's the abbreviation of balance sheet? BS. And by the way, a huge shout out to our channel members and patrons. You guys are awesome. If you want to watch a video in which I explain why we're headed to a crash, which already has begun actually, but we haven't noticed yet, I'm going to put this video right here. I suggest you watch it just for the sake of your sanity. Also, since we're coming up on Christmas and never asked it, there's a subscribe button right here. If you want to support the channel, might want to consider subscribing as a Gizmas. I like Gizmas. Christmas gift, Gizmas is a Gizmas to me. I'll see you tomorrow.